the latest information. Doug Hagmann, thank you for joining us, sir. Take over.
Alex, thanks for having me. Yeah, basically everything that you've come up with, my source, independent of yours, has said right now the mood inside justice, well, inside the FBI, not justice, inside the FBI office right now at the Hoover building is extremely tense. You've got the upper echelon of the FBI that's fighting against the rank and file members. The rank and file are just absolutely upset over what's going on. They had gone through with the New York or NYPD task force, according to my source, on the sexting aspect of the sexting investigation of Anthony Weiner. They had gone through the hard assets, including, how can I put this? And this is important to understand. They actually took not just a laptop, but they also took files off of a desktop inside the Weiner's residence, as well as physically took the router at the Weiner residence. And the reason I'm saying this is because there's much more to this than the media knows, or is being told to the media, or is being leaked out, as we've seen. They want to keep some things close to the vest. But yes, the information you're getting right now is being confirmed by my sources. Just to kind of summarize this, there is.
It's okay. We're 5 days out. I mean, as much as you can say, exactly what are they finding? Because they say it's big.
Well, yeah, there's like three different parts to this, three different moving parts to this. You've got the classified, top secret, special access programs. Those files that were on Anthony Weiner's computer without fail, that's been verified by my source. And they said that's the least of the issues. Another aspect of this is the treason espionage part of this. And I know how bad that sounds, Alex, but there's some indication that, and this is why they took the router, is that other downloads of the documents, and I'm talking about the top secret special access program documents that were in the 656,000 emails on Weiner's computer, were offloaded to yet a third party. Well, who's that third party? It could very well be Huma's relations, if you will, or it could be her associates. So you've got that aspect. And then the third, and perhaps the most disgusting aspect of this, is the sexual angle that, and I don't want to be graphic or gross here.
Well, this hasn't broke yet, but I was told, and we haven't talked before the show, I was told it ties into Lolita Express. Is that where you're about to go?
Yes. And it involves Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, and Bill Clinton, as well, with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, my God.
Now, this has, well, according to my sources, these files exist. They did not touch, my source did not touch, or they has no idea what's in those files, but the fact that they exist on this computer suggests some sort of overlap here. And as much as I hate to even think about this, based on my source, Hillary did, in fact, take part in some of the junkets on the Lolita Express, independent of and with Bill Clinton.
Blackmail.
This also involved Huma.
Well, that's what I was told about Pachenik. They say it's a major foreign penetration of everything. That's why, despite the fact our government's corrupt, she's got to be taken down, because it's total blackmail.
Exactly. And right now they're fighting for their lives, not just for relevance, but for their freedom at this point. But then I think the important thing that we found, that if I can say nothing else, is the fact that you've got a great group of individuals within NYPD, within the New York and DC offices of the FBI, and within some of the intelligence agencies working together. And I think
we haven't talked in months, have we? I was told a week ago, and I thought when they were listening, I thought it was weird. I was told NYPD was at the tip of the spear of this thing, and you're now saying it on air while we talk. I was told by high-level sources that NYPD was like an MVP in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Many of the higher-ranking NYPD investigators have been pushing for this, and they've been getting some resistance with the FBI. Of course, traditionally the relationship between the local and federal law enforcement officials, it's never really a great relationship. But in this case, there is a group that bandied together and said, look, we're not going to allow this to just be pushed under the carpet. And they're fighting justice.
That's what I heard. It's so horrible that no one could ignore it.
No, they can't. And this is why, too, and people are looking at and speculating as to why the FBI just posted 4 separate files on Vince Foster. That's not just to give people information about what happened at Fort Marcy Park or with Vince Foster. This is to send a message to Comey and the people that...
Let's talk about it. This is seismic. This is historic. Wow. As much as you can tell us, Doug Hagmann, get into what your law enforcement, NYPD, FBI told you. Some of this has already come out in the press, where this is going, because it's a very dangerous game that's being played. And then Pachinik, who's a major heavy hitter, wasn't just the head of psychological warfare for the State Department. I'll just stop right there. I mean, it ran covert operations for the Army and the CIA. Super heavy hitter. I mean, he says they're going after him now. He's mentioning individuals that are being targeted now. So the war is starting, and all the little trendies don't seem to know what they're involved in here. Slitting America's throats a little bit harder than they thought it would be. Trump's way ahead in the polls. But just getting back to Weiner, why this is being brought up, what's happening with Comey. Is it a double deal? What's happening?
You know, it's interesting because my source, even before I realized what was going on with Dr. Pachinik, had mentioned that there was going to be a high-level intelligence source, a former intelligence source, bringing this out. I had no idea until I saw the videos with Dr. Pachinik, or saw your video, actually.
By the way, he said on air, but also privately, he had to get major authorization to do that.
Right. Well, a couple of things that I think it's very important for people to understand, too, even before getting into the Lolita Express, is the fact that, you know, the FBI agents that were tasked with destroying the laptops, the devices of Cheryl Mills, Heather Samuelson, and others back in July, subsequent to the July 5th news conference by Comey, they did not, contrary to belief and reports, did not destroy that hardware or the data on the hardware. It remains in, this is the information I have now, that hardware that was supposed to be destroyed, that was ordered destroyed, is right now in the hands of a group of FBI agents and is being held at the FBI, and it's ready to be disclosed.
Well, that's confirmed now that the majority of the FBI is now, for the first time in their 90-year history, in rebellion because they see the clear and present danger. I mean, what percentage would you say it is? Is that accurate? And, you know, who's who in this?
Well, it's real simple. The high brass of the FBI, you're talking about the SAC, the special agents in charge, you know, at the different field
offices.
Yeah, or anyone inside the Beltway at a level higher than the department head have pretty much sold out, or at least that's the feeling of the rank and file. Comey's sitting with a stack of resignations on his desk. He's beside himself. There are people who have known.
By the way, you said that 3 months ago. I know, and you were on Coast to Coast. Since it came out, there's a stack of resignations, just proving your point.
Yeah, and there are people who have known Comey for years who refuse to talk to him today because of his July 5th his press conference.
His wife reportedly is thinking about leaving him.
I'm sure. I mean, believe me, I would not want to be there. I wouldn't want to be in that household. But having said all of that, you know, I'm looking at Comey too, and I, you know, having experience as an operational and informational asset with the Department of Justice and the FBI myself, I mean, I understand that things go very slowly, and there's a whole big bureaucracy there. But I'll tell you this: there are a bunch of great people in the rank and file of the FBI, the agents, the field agents, the people that
really hardworking people.
Exactly. So these are the people who are getting together and saying and working with the NYPD. And by the way, Rudy Giuliani people better be looking at him really close and listening to what he's saying, because he's behind. Well, he's responsible, I would say, for a lot of this information coming from the NYPD segment of this group of patriots that we see forming and pushing back against the sold-out political hacks within the intelligence agencies. So
yeah, I was talking to a top Secret Service agent, former Secret Service, and he said a few months ago, he said, watch what the NYPD does. And I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. There, of course, there's politicalization within the NYPD as well. However, they're less likely, because they're not as centralized. They're less likely to be overtaken. The task force that was sent out against Weiner, who, by the way, just checked himself in. I didn't hear earlier your program. I was traveling. Weiner just checked himself into a sexual rehab clinic.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's on the advice of his counsel, and
that's just a cover to get him out of the way.
Exactly. Although, you know, people can get to him there just as easy, if not easier, than elsewhere. But my sources are telling me
saying that's being done for his own safety right now.
For his own safety, and also as a legal maneuver. You've got Huma versus.
No, but I agree. But some of my other sources said Huma and Weiner, boy, they better be watching out, because Hillary might put the touch on them.
Well, you saw what happened. I mean, in the drop of a dime, you had Hillary Clinton suddenly just push Huma away, refer to Huma as one of her staffers, and I mean that relationship changed on a dime.
So she's gone from being her girlfriend to boom.
Well, exactly. But the backstory there is, Weiner has a lot of the information, and I do believe, and this is based again on the sources, my source, and one in particular that I have, that Weiner is in fact, that they're afraid of what he's got, and they're afraid of him being this loose cannon.
Is it true that his file was called insurance?
You know, I asked that question, and I can't get a definitive answer on that. I've seen that rumored, bandied about, and I saw another one that said, you know, XXX or sex or whatever. The file or folder names, no one's saying anything, which kind of leads me to believe that that's not 100% true. However, the information behind it is. And I think that's kind of a way to vet who's saying what to who. And it's a good, I've seen it done in the past, and it's a good way to clear things up. So, or a good way to identify where the leaks are. So,
sure, absolutely. Well, other intel you've got, 10 other points you want to make to the listeners and the viewers out there.
5 days, next 5 days, next 6 days, the most dangerous period in American history in recent memory. That's number one. Number two, we are being set up for a constitutional crisis, regardless of who wins. If Hillary wins, the investigations and potential indictment follow her. If Trump wins, the other side, the Hillary side, including Podesta and everyone around her, are going to question the legitimacy of the elections. So we are facing a constitutional crisis, regardless of who wins. Watch from the date of election until the date of inauguration, another dangerous period, and also potentially giving a reason for Obama to, and this, I never thought this was possible, but to delay the elections, which, yes, this could happen in the case of a false flag war, or if Hillary would win and an indictment passed down, he could say, wait a minute, we're going to delay the elections. And that has a lot to do, and as crazy as it sounds, it has a lot to do with the intent. I'll just leave it at this, with the intent of the globalists. We've talked about this before, that they're still pushing for societal chaos.
Well, let's get into it, because you were the first guy ringing the alarm bells more than 5 years ago about a project with Soros, race war. Now, I believed you because you're a credible guy, but now it's all happened. It kind of fell on its face, though, because everybody woke up to it. But they have now, like, tripled the amount of money. Usually it was like $100 million a year they were spending. Now it's like $300 million a month. I mean, they are quadrupling, whatever the number is. They are just going crazy, with hundreds of millions every few months being given Ford Foundation, Soros, to saying cops are the problem, kill the cops, burn everything down. I mean, clearly that's part of their larger plan.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be their plan until it succeeds, or until it's completely exposed. I mean, the objectives don't change, the plans do, the timing does change. So, you know, I stand by what I said 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and 3 years ago. The plans change, the objectives don't. And we're facing such a critical time in history right now.
Sure, they got a handful of cards. They change which ones they're going to play, but it's the same cards. How is it going for Team New World Order? It seems like they're getting their ass kicked.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to put it. I think they are, but I think that in the end, they hold all the cards. You know, it's kind of like playing against the house. The house always wins. We're playing against a dealer within the house, or playing the poker game. There's the house take. The house always wins in the end. You've got war that's possible. War with, look at what's going on with Syria, and look in the South China Sea as well. I do believe that there's an issue, and very interesting too, Alex. The blame game against Russia is not just because of the emails, but this is also to demonize Russia with the American people because of Syria, which all comes down to not just the gun running and such, but the pipeline between Iran and Qatar. And this is where Huma Abedin, her Saudi connections, come into play as well. So this is like a three-dimensional chess game, and people really have to understand not just any one small part of this, but the entirety of the picture. The
whole bunch of different agendas and a bunch of special interests. And Hillary, who just loves money and steals furniture and everything. She's just a crazy crook who'll do whatever she's told. She's kind of the front person for this whole mental illness. I want to take some phone calls from Martin and Andrew and Matthew and John and Steve and others. Doug Hagmann of HagmannReport.com is joining us. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com. But I've been asking the questions here. You've had amazing information. What else is on your radar screen? What else do you want to tell people?
Well, I would pray and prepare, I guess, first and foremost. But again, I would watch the next couple of days or next several days until the election and then until the inauguration, different potentialities there. And even if Hillary wins, I'd watch that. But specifically, false flags with respect to domestic violence. We saw some really horrible things, executions against police officers overnight. Watch for more of that. Watch for anything that would give the established. You know what, Alex, I forgot to mention this. I wrote myself a note here. I'm going to just go back to information I had earlier. The files that were on reportedly on Weiner's laptop include names of some Republicans within the Gang of Eight.
So this is a larger blackmail op. Bring this into an investigation. Because what I was told is Hillary actually activated this to cover Comey's butt, but do a larger threat. And I guess, is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got Republicans and Democrats or progressives and conservatives alike involved in the sexual component to this, as well as the Clinton Foundation, which is front and center for the money laundering of the sex. So you've got, I mean, again, this is so complex. However,
that's what Pachinik says. It's a major intelligence operation to corrupt people.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But what the NYPD, God bless those men and women, what the NYPD, the task force headed by the NYPD going after Weiner's laptop and the devices there, what they saw, they realized what they had. And by the way, they gave Comey, they gave the FBI 2 weeks to go through this, and it was actually 3 weeks.
That's what I was told. If they don't, it's a press conference. Exactly. So is Comey good or bad or in between, or what's happening with him?
Man, I'll tell you what, I don't know. You've got, it depends on who I talk to at the Bureau. Look, I don't know. I mean, some people say, well, he's a good guy, give him a break. He's under pressure. But to me, I think he really, no, he's sold out. I believe he's sold out.
Sure, wouldn't he have not gone after Hillary, though, if it wasn't green-lighted by Obama?
Yes. I mean, look, if they wanted to take down Hillary, they could have, with the information that they got back in April, through April to June. They could have taken her down. They could have taken Abedin down. They could have taken others down. Look, the sexting of Weiner, just as an example, according to my NYPD source, this guy's been doing this since 2010. They knew about, the Hillary camp knew about Weiner since 2010, not 11, but 2010.
Sure, so I know you can't go too far, but just how, because who knows, we'll be on the air tomorrow. We're 5 days out. The world's crazy. What did NYPD tell you? What's on there? Because what I was told was, and I've seen it hinted by intelligence people, that it's Lolita Express, it's kids.
Well, yes, it's kids. It involves the Saudis. It involves, it involves the Saudis. It involves people from the Middle East. Very big money interest from the Middle East.
Well, we know Clinton was flying out with his top sheik that's a pedophile.
Yeah, yeah, and it involves Hillary, Huma, and to a lesser extent, Weiner was just kind of a prop, if you will, and that's probably a good, an apt description for him. But yeah, this is.
Are you saying Weiner is it kind of a pimp?
Weiner is. My source told me that Weiner does not have a whole lot of smarts. All right, he might have some street smarts, but he's got this insatiable sex drive.
That's what he's kind of like Bill. That's who she chose. He's a cutout as her front.
Right, yeah, and yeah, he gives her cover. I mean, Huma is a Muslim, of course, living with her mother and sister are living with her right now in their New York apartment, according to the information I have, and that's another thing too. The sharing of information between Huma from Weiner's computer through Huma to the mother. Saleh Abedin, who runs the Journal of Muslim Minority Affairs, Muslim Sisterhood and such, as well as the sister. So there's the espionage component there. There's the sexual component with Weiner via getting children for Bill Epstein and even Huma and Hillary.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I've been interviewing you for like 14 years, Doug. Never heard anything this hardcore. You're always accurate. This is mind-blowing. We're going to go to break, come right back with a few phone calls straight ahead with our guest. HagmannReport.com, Doug Hagmann. Wow, my head is spinning right now. This is an insane time to be alive. But Doug Hagmann, I want your view. You're a smart guy. I respect your views. I don't just say that. I mean, that's why I have on people that have been proven, they've got their info dialed in. Who is Donald Trump? I mean, why are they so scared of him?
I think they're scared of him because they don't own him. They don't have anything on him, which is why you saw that release of that audio tape from, 10 years ago. They don't have anything. I mean, he's not been a part of the Washington, D.C. mechanism, so they really don't. Although he's been friends with even Hillary Clinton, he's donated to her campaign and such.
He's met her at events. He's been nice.
Right, but he's not been on the inside. He's not been co-opted yet.
No, his corruption is steaks and ice cream. The guy didn't even smoke or drink. I mean, the people I talk to, he's like so conservative, it's crazy.
Right, and so that's why they're afraid. I mean, he's like someone you can't control. He's like a wild card. So, and in fact, it was my understanding from initial reports, they did not think that he was even going to be close to being nominated.
Oh, they thought in the WikiLeaks he'd be a great loser. They misestimated.
Right. So they're afraid as to, because right now we're seeing, and as you pointed out, and you're the great patriot as well, with your show and all of these revelations, they are afraid of the people waking up saying, wait a minute, no more, this is enough. We're tired of the culture of corruption. We're tired of the Clinton culture of corruption, and bang, we're out of here. And this is why they're afraid of Trump, because they're afraid Trump will, in fact, clean house, and because he's got nothing to lose.
Oh, he flips a few switches, our economy explodes. Let's go ahead. He'll call their bluff, too. Great points. Let's talk to Andrew in Wisconsin, then John in Michigan. Andrew, thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Hi, Alex. I just wanted to know a couple things. With the staggering amount of evidence that's been unveiled on your show in the last 27 hours now, what is being done about fraudulent voting machines, and why isn't Hillary under arrest this very minute?
Sir, I mean, they admit they're putting in these point shavers. They've been caught. They admit all the crimes. WikiLeaks is out there. 1,000 reasons she should be arrested. I agree. It's an epic moment. Mr. Hagmann?
No, and call me Doug. No, optics, I think, for one, I think there are some people, even on the good, the people who are trying to expose everything, understand that an arrest at this point could ignite, and I mean ignite the country. And none of the good people, none of the people that are on our side, so to speak, want to see the country go up in flames. So they want to do this in such a manner that justice is served, but it's done. But
reasonably. If they want to push it, we can't capitulate. We're not the ones starting this, but I mean,
right.
They're crazy. I think they're going to win this. I mean, I think the takeaway is from everybody I've talked to who are serious people, no, we're not giving up, and we've just begun to fight.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, look, Hillary is behind. The first time ever in real career politics has 6 polls up. She's behind in all of them. All these polls oversample Democrats, and she's losing 6, 8, 10 points. We can put it on screen. What do you think's going on, Andrew?
I believe it's being totally rigged, and it's been being rigged from the start. And as she found out, Bev did yesterday, it's been going on for multiple years, dating back many decades. It's a globalist agenda. And I'm sick of looking at it. I want to do something about it, and I'll be damned if she's going to come and win the election fraudulently and take my gun.
Then that's the thing. Even though it's not good for business, they want to dominate. Why do the globalists want to extinguish America? Why are they so obsessed with it, Doug?
Well, it's not just America. It's all national. It's all countries. I mean, it goes back to the Tower of Babel. I mean, it's biblical in its nature, its origins. They just want everybody under one rule, and that's, of course,
they're control freaks. Like you and I don't want to run our neighbors, much less the whole town or city. They want to run it all, which WikiLeaks shows. They're up till 2 a.m. every night running everyone. Just, let me run this. Let me run that. Can you imagine what that's like?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like hell on earth. No wonder their kids are all so horrible. We'll be right back in 70 seconds with John and others. Stay with us. HagmannReport.com. Doug Hagmann's our guest. Let's take a few more calls here. John in Michigan, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Mr. Jones, I know you get a lot of new listeners every day, and I would like to just alert them, in case they've got buyer's remorse from putting in an absentee ballot, that at least 8 states allow voters to change or cancel their early absentee ballots, including battlegrounds like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. A list of all states that I can find are Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, Louisiana, and Hawaii.
Okay, so what are you saying people should do? If they were a Democrat who voted for Hillary, they should cancel and go vote for Trump?
It varies how it works per state. In my state, if I go to the poll and vote, they will throw out my absentee ballot. But every state probably has different rules. I'd like yours.
Well, I'll say this. The biggest problem is the vote shaving. That's why we contest it. We expose it. We do exit polls. That's why they're trying to sue Trump. I appreciate your call, John. Great points. So that we can't do that. That looks pretty guilty, doesn't it, Doug?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And a matter of fact, I was talking with somebody this past weekend. 80% of the mail-in ballots in Maricopa County apparently are already in, which is significantly more than. No,
we've had a record early voting.
Right, but the numbers are not adding up. I guess what I'm trying to say is in Maricopa County, the numbers aren't adding up. There's too many ballots that are coming in, more that went out.
Oh, yeah. In Philadelphia, they're reporting 140, 120% in precincts of the registered voters have voted. Massive fraud.
Exactly. And according to my source, by the way, we are being told that the people inside the good guys are indeed expecting, although Trump to win the popular vote, Hillary to win the electoral vote in some twisted fashion and certainly win. But that's what I've been told to prepare for. But
the good news is all the stuff with the Lolita Express and everything's coming out. So they're going to steal the election. Good luck. We're going to absolutely politically blow you away.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't put words in your mouth. From your sources, is that what they're saying?
Yeah, which is why the full court press is on now. And thanks for helping me out with that. Yeah, it's there's this expectation of theft of the election, whether through the electoral vote or whether through some other means like ballot stuffing or whatever, or changing the black box voting. However, this can be changed by just exposing, by what you're doing, what we're doing, exposing everything, laying it all out there.
Not going along with it, not buying it, it'll blow up in their face.
Yep, exactly.
All right, great points. I'll take other calls after you're gone. I want to thank you for the time. Again, HagmannReport.com, Doug Hagmann. 60 seconds, other points you'd like to add?
No, the only thing I'd really want to add, Alex, and I don't want to seem like I'm being disingenuous or blowing smoke, but I've got to say I think that, thank you for what you do. I think everyone can see right now, everything you've been talking about the last 20 plus years, it's all coming to a head right now. You're on the right side of history. And as a matter of fact, you own, in my view, this section of history. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for what you do. Thank you for being the good patriot that you are. Thank you for exposing this, for being as tenacious and tireless as you are.
Well, it brings tears to my eyes because it's God's will and God working through us. I'm nothing, but it is true. I can feel God's spirit so strong every second now, Doug. I mean, this is history. And if we don't make the right decision here, I think there's going to be a world war. That's what everybody can feel is the danger. Is why our spirits are on edge, is because past this line, if we don't do the right thing here, we're gonna lose everything.
Amen, brother.